Where do you live? Do you live in England, the UK, Ireland, Europe, wherever it is? Where do you live? Put it in the comments. I'd be interested to find out what type of people from what locations actually watch these bloody videos. Now listen, have you ever considered living in Lanzarote? Well, in this video, you're going to find out something that you've never seen before, which is knowledge. When I say knowledge, lots of knowledge, because you're going to find out what it's really like living in Lanzarote. And you're going to find out starting right now. Right, let's start the walk together. Okay, so this is Porto del Carmen. It's one big long road that takes you into the heart with all the action is, where all the party scene is. When I say party, there's not really a big party scene here because it's more of a chilled out vibe. Like, there's lots of restaurants and things like that and coffee shops. But you'll see a lot of alcohol being drank. I was speaking to this woman who worked in one of the bars, and she's English and she's lived here for like 33 years. And she said, you know what? Brits are all alcoholics. And I said, are they? And she says, yeah. They're not like any other creed, race. They're not like any other person. Now, I'm British. I'm a white British. I'm not an alcoholic. And I don't think everyone's an alcoholic who are British. But she's only saying that because that's all she knows. But if she comes to Britain, you're not going to see people sitting outside coffee shops getting bevied all day, enjoying the sun. They'll be at home watching Coronation Street and Netflix and YouTube, drinking a nice brew. The only reason why they drink is because they're on bloody holiday. So it's not normal. They don't normally do that. But anyway, it's interesting listening to people's perspectives and perception from where they stand. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Look at that. It is absolutely stunning. And the camera doesn't justify it because it's not four-dimensional. It's flat. But use your imagination, right? If you could pull into that screen now, nearly tripped then. If you could pull into that screen and actually observe the depth of field, you'll know that Lanzarote is absolutely beautiful. And I mean beautiful. And we are now in October. And October in the UK is winter. That's what they call it, the winter months. It's bloody freezing, that's all they do though. But here, it's not. People are on the beach, enjoying themselves, having a great time. Look at them all in the water. I hope there's no sharks in there. If they are, they'd be in big trouble, wouldn't they? Just so much you can look at the positives though. At least the sharks would be fed, wouldn't they? Right, I'm under a tree here trying to get some shade because, like I say, it's October and it's bloody baking. It's probably about 30 degrees. October. I wonder what the temperature's like in England. I might ring my wife up and ask her. Rub it in a little bit. Yes, absolutely lovely. There you go. There's all the shark bait. Just waiting. Look at all the bars all up there. Live music, 67 bar and grill. And you've got Moto. Can you see that? So you can want to rent a bike. You can also do that as well. The good thing about Lanzarote, you see this bit here. I shouldn't even be walking on it. Look. But this is where all the cycles go. It's like a designated cycle lane because you get a lot of cyclists coming here. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the heat. Maybe it's better for them to train in this weather. I don't know why, because you can't bloody breathe. But it must have its benefits, I suppose. Maybe that's why Spanish is so good at football, because the climate in their country is a lot more, obviously, warmer. So they get conditioned to be able to continue to train in the heat. Not like British people. We're not used to the heat. You know what they should do for football in the UK? We should all train on a big sunbed that's permanently on. See how long they last then. There you go, there's a drugstore. I don't know if you can see that, but it says 35 degrees. Can you see that? Well, that's what it says. Anyway, let's continue on our walk together in Lanzarote. Why are we walking? Because if you're going to live here, you're going to be walking around here. And if you don't like walking, then I wouldn't come to Lanzarote. I'd stay at home in England where it's cold. And you can put the heating on and watch crap on telly. Or you can get out in nature and be on a volcanic island called Lanzarote which is hot basically all year round, even in winter. I think what tends to happen at Lanzarote as well, it gets busier in the winter months, because I've been here in June, July, August, and it is unbearably hot. Remember, it's a volcanic island, so yeah, if it's creating volcanoes, you can imagine how bloody hot it's going to be. And are these volcanoes active? I don't know. I wouldn't like to find out. Right, I've just put my sunglasses on. It's getting too hot and I'm walking in the shade. But yeah, be aware. It's bloody baking. Again, October, and the weather's like this. Well, it's lovely though. Look at that sky. This is one thing you don't notice, or what I've just noticed. Where are all the birds in the sky? I wonder why that is. You don't see many birds in the sky. Can you see any? I can't. Look at those luscious trees. Gorgeous, very tropical and enjoyable on the senses. And look, there's the beach, and this beach is literally massive. Looking at them people there just chilling out, getting wet. I hope they got a towel. There they are, the little buggers. Look, I found some birds. Are they pigeons? Oh, they don't look very tropical, do they? Where are you going? Come here, get on my video. Oh, hiya, mate. Oh, he's staying. I'm going to call them. Colin, he's my new pet. Hello, Colin. Look at them all just chilling out in the sun. Wonder if they get out, birds. Okay, let's continue our walk in Porto del Carmen. Right, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, I thought you were talking about what's it like to live in Lanzarote. Well, I'm giving you the spiel here because this is the reality. I'm not going to glorify it or try and sell you the idea. I'm not on commission for crying out loud. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Okay, so the positives of living here is it's very chilled and relaxed and vibrant, and what happens is everybody's in a relaxed mood. I've never seen, or I shouldn't say never, it's very rare that you see any fighting or drunken behaviour. It's not like somewhere like Benidorm, and I love Benidorm, but yeah, you don't tend to get ruffians and alcoholics and drunks and aggressive people who've had too much to drink. You don't tend to see that, which is nice. So you feel safe. And look, everyone's got the top off, just running. Like, look at him. Where's he running to? Oh, good luck to him. At least he's trying, isn't he? I should be running, get rid of this freaking belly that I've put on through all this carbs and beer that I've been bloody drinking. Yeah, that's a negative thing from my, again, perspective. Is it's very tempting to go and have a nice cold beer. But if you're doing that every day, you never just have one, you have 1, 2, 3. Before you know it, you've been sitting in the sun all day at a bar. You've had like 10 pints. And then when you get back home, your mates start saying to you, do you enjoy your holiday? And then the next thing that comes out of the mouth is, you put weight on. Yeah, that's what they say. Don't drink your calories. Let's go down here. Right, there's a bar down here and it's really posh. I'm not going to get a drink because I've just been preaching to you that you've got to be very careful about spending too much time in the sun because it's very tempting to have a drink. So if I go and have a beer now, is that condescending? Is that the right word? But there you go, look at that, how posh is it in there? There's no one in there at the moment, but it does get busy. Again, it's funny, Lanzarote, sometimes it's really quiet and then other times you can't bloody move. But one thing that always stays the same is it's very relaxing and peaceful. Like, look at them two, they're just chilling out with a glass of wine, playing on the phone. Why are they looking at the phone when there's a bloody gorgeous ocean there, right in front of their eyes? Sometimes you can't see what's right in front of you, can you? There we go, you see it there? Right, I'm not going to go in there because, again, I'll end up getting a beer, and then there's nothing worse than living in a foreign country or a hot country like this and being overweight, because you've got to carry that weight around with you and it gets very uncomfortable. This is a nice place to stay. You can rent them, but you're talking, I think they're about €1,000 a month, which isn't expensive considering where you are. It's not like the UK. I'll tell you what, property in the UK is a lot more expensive than it is here. Now, years ago, what happened, I mean, like back in the 90s, property in Spain, Lanzarote and all that was ridiculously cheap because it's not rip off Britain, right? Oh, there's a nice yacht there, look at that. But anyway, it was ridiculously cheap. So what people started doing is buying all the property. So because you were buying it because it was cheap, then prices start to get higher and higher. And now it's probably quadrupled in price, but still, it's still a lot cheaper than property in the UK, depending on where you live. But the average price house in the UK, and I'm in a poor area, you're talking what, 150,000, and that's for a cheap house. But 10 years ago, you could get a house for 50 grand. But not now, not anymore. The rich get richer. That's how it works. Anyway, it's getting busy now because we're walking down to the bottom bit. The bottom bit's more popular of Porto del Carmen, which is nice. So if you want peace and quiet, you can stay at one end. Or if you want it a bit livelier, then you could just follow the yellow brick road and go down into the main part, which we're going to see as you come with me. The thing is, right, is it a good investment buying a property abroad? You bet your bloody bottom dollar it is, because this is what you get. Look at it. You couldn't freaking make it up. It's gorgeous. Look at that. Look at it. Paradise. If you buy a property here, this is what you get. And if you don't know how to buy a property, you haven't got the money to do it, believe me, there's always ways. And then some people say, well, it's easy for you might have money. I've got no money. You don't need money. Now listen to me, I'm going to teach you a life lesson here. You might already know this, but I figured this out about 10 years ago, that if you want something, the first thing that comes into your head is, I can't have it because I haven't got the money. So what you should do is not focus on the money, because you don't want the money, you want the thing. Does that make sense? So say, right, I'm moving to Lanzarote. Now you might argue with yourself and say, well, I haven't got the money, but that's not what you want. I didn't ask you that. I said, what do you want? You said, I want to move to Lanzarote. I say, so this is what you do. Make the decision. And if you make this decision and you start planning it, before you know it, it will manifest. And you'll have a property on the beach in any way you like. And all you have to do is make that decision. One thing I want to mention, actually, this is important. When you're in Lanzarote, you tend not to get ill. It's like the bacteria can't grow, the pestilences. It's very rare you get ill because you can't get a cold because it's too bloody hot. And when I went back home to England, after being here for a long time, as soon as I got off that plane, I literally got a cold, literally within 2 days. I remember coming off the plane, I was like, bloody hell, it's freezing. It was like, what the... It was like an assault on my senses. So yeah, there's another positive thing about moving to Lanzarote, because you won't get ill as much, believe me. And that might be due to the fact that you're very relaxed as well, and you're always in a calm state. It's very difficult to get stressed when you've got things like that in your back garden. There they all are, just chilling out on the beach, having a nice time. And look, that's a man-made beach, in other words. They shouldn't have sand there. The reason it's got sand is because it's been imported in. How nice is that? So the council did that. They brought all that sand onto the rocky island, because if it wasn't there, it'll just be volcanic rock like that, and you wouldn't be able to sunbathe, I can assure you. It'll cut the hell out of your feet. I see that bus there. Them buses come every 5 bloody minutes, and it's great. So if you don't like walking, you can get the bus. And again, the bus is very, very cheap. Ridiculously cheap. It's like they don't maximise the profits in Lanzarote. They just charge you a fair price. So it just goes to show there's not much corruption in the local government. They seems to have very strong Christian values because it's a Christian country. And yes, Lanzarote is very religious. The UK is a Christian country, believe it or not. But again, religion subsides, doesn't it? But in places like this, it doesn't. It's so instilled into their values. It's a God-fearing country, which is great, because that means they will not rip you off, because greed is a sin.